It's all relative. When I was in my 50s, I didn't think my story would interest anyone. Now I know that it can help some immerse themselves into a different life experience and make better choices. You see, it's all relative. Happiness, success, and their counterparts, sadness and failure. You'll always be better off than many and worse than others. If you're reading this or listening to the audiobook, you're already fortunate to be able to comprehend language and translate it into feelings and images in your mind. There is always someone less fortunate than you, to whom the simple things you take for granted would give enormous joy. It is also important to know that it is okay to feel miserable, even when your reasoning is telling you that you have everything to feel over the moon. We have our days. We are composed of so much water in our cells, and water is affected by the moon. So we are affected by the moon, the planets, the stars, the constellations, and the people who are around us. Can we control all this? No way. I always found it better to admit that I was in a bad mood. I stopped hating myself for feeling that way to start with, and it made me feel so much better. I understood when my children were not in their best predisposition, and I gave them space. Or sometimes a hug was in order. Each person needs a different kind of empathy. Even showing empathy sometimes can backfire. They might just prefer to be ignored. It is an art to be able to work out what each child needs at a particular time. I was fortunate to have the energy to really think about the moment, to analyze the tone of their voice, their moves and actions. And like any other parent, I made mistakes. I made mistakes trying to avoid what I hated most from my own parents, who were doing exactly the same. I remember my mom telling me that if I thought she was strict, I should have seen my grandfather. And so it goes. Each generation of parenting avoids mistakes from the previous and makes new ones for their children to avoid them when the time comes. Thank you for listening. An extract of Clara Thinks To Us, my new autobiographic novel, available in Amazon.com.